Hey guys, how you doing? It's Private School Tav here. Let's talk about some cars, huh? So, here's a little bit of a history lesson. In the 3rd century BC, Emperor Qin Shi Huang of China, forgive me if I butcher that, he had a brilliant idea. He wanted to stop hordes of bothersome barbarians from entering into his territory and bothering his good people. He decided that a wall was to be built, a really big one. Thousands of years later, a man named Donald Trump will have the same idea, but that didn't really work out. Anyway, Emperor Qin ordered that the Great Wall of more than 13,000 miles be built across northern China. It took 3 whole centuries to construct this behemoth. Parts of this amazing wonder still stand today as a string and a symbol of Chinese perseverance, ingenuity, and strength. Of course, I'm not telling you anything you didn't probably know, but here's something you didn't know. When the wall is not stopping incursions from pesky spreaders of democracy, it is used as a factory to build cars of all things. Well, at least I think so. Otherwise, why would there be a company called Great Wall Motors? I mean, what? Huh? What do you mean they don't build cars in there? Well, why did they name it GWM then? Okay, never mind. Scrap everything you just heard. What you do need to know though is that there is a rising player in the automotive world misleadingly named Great Wall Motors from out of China, and boy, is it making waves that we should pay attention to. Now, Great Wall Motors has been operating since 1984 and is now the largest producer of SUVs in China. And we all know how much SUVs are in these days. Now, only a few years ago, the idea of a Chinese manufacturer actually making cars that the rest of us would want to buy was laughable. I mean, Top Gear dedicated a whole episode to making fun of their attempts. They did, however, issue a warning stating that the progress of China, as ever, was rapid, and that soon they would get their act together. Ladies and gentlemen, that time has come. So, many of you may not actually know Great Wall Motors or seen any of their cars with the specific GWM badge, but you may have seen this other new player in the SUV game, namely Haval. This brand has proven to be the crown jewel under GWM. Haval is a recently birthed car maker. Its inception is as recent as 2013. It's only about 8 years old. I have underwear older than that. But here's the kicker. Since its inception, this brand has gone global, catering to the ever-bulging, soccer mom-filled SUV market. With ever-growing sales, it has millions of cars sold thus far, all of them SUVs. Now you might think it's idiotic to create a whole car manufacturing brand in order just to sell one kind of vehicle. But one must remember that brands such as Porsche, well, they made the name for themselves selling only roid rage Beetles for decades. So it is a tried and tested strategy. It has allowed them to focus on creating better SUVs for the market at reasonable prices, and overall, that's better for all of us consumers. Where a few years ago I wouldn't have touched one with a stick wrapped in a condom, now I've been forced to change my opinion, and so has the rest of the market. The rate of improvement shown by this company is nothing short of inspiring. They've gone from making jacked up wheelie boxes to making stylishly designed, well-equipped, cheerfully, reasonably priced competitors to budget SUV kings such as Honda and Toyota and Kia, and maybe even the likes of the Germans such as the BMW, the Mercedes, and the Audis. Though don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're better. In order to show you what I mean, I'm going to do a quick review or look at what I believe are 2 of Haval's best offerings right now and highlight all the things I appreciate about them. Namely, I'm about to wax lyrical about the Haval Jolion and the Haval H6. One mid-size SUV and the other a full-size SUV. So, let's take a look, shall we? Now, when you look at these two cars, you'll find that the looks are markedly different, but they are not at all that different, with the H6 being slightly longer and bigger over the Jolion. The Jolion has that funk though. The latest designs are very eye-catching, and anyone would be forgiven for turning their back or their neck to follow it down the road. It's got some real youth in it, but rather perfectly. The interior is not at all funky. It is beautifully simplistic, very streamlined and minimalist, but not in a way that seems that they try too hard to look cool like an Audi. It is quite simply on par with any German rival for minimalistic elegance, but without the glitz of aluminum air vents and the like. The real kicker though for this cheap family SUV is the equipment levels. The top versions do not cost a hefty sum, and yet you get a treasure trove of features you never knew you needed. You get things like 360-degree panoramic cameras, radars out the wazoo, things like lane keep assist and radar-controlled cruise control, as well as a crawl function for stop-start traffic. Those aren't Tesla levels of autonomy, but I'll be damned if that does not put a smile on your face. Now, when it comes to power and speed, you can tell that it's not a priority for Haval, but they are smooth. With time, however, we all know that sports variants will start coming out of the skunk works. They're just gonna let the boys go crazy with the engines, and well, I can't wait until that time. Now that I've finished waxing lyrical about the Jolion, let's look at its kind of older sibling, the H6. Now, the Haval H6 obviously gets the same treatment in terms of equipment, being the bigger brother of the Jolion and all. It does, however, get a more stately look and manner about it. It stands out that little bit taller, with a silver spoon kind of essence to it, There's something very Audi and yet understated elegance about it. It will definitely have your neighbors questioning their life choices, and let's be honest, isn't that all you really want? It even got those fancy trinkets you never thought you'd be able to afford on a car, like a choice heads-up display and a wireless charger under the center console. When it comes to what a modern person wants and needs from a car, one does not have to look any further than these two offerings, straight out of China. I guess they are taking over. Hopefully they won't be accused of using their cars to spy on us though. Looking at you, America. Anyway, I guess the Belt and Road Initiative is starting with putting Havals on the roads. And honestly, it's quite good. Anyway guys, this has been Private School Tav. Make sure to subscribe for more. I'll check you out the next time.